Good morning, students. Welcome to your third computer classes. Here, I will teach you computer and we will start with today's next chapter, chapter number 2. Before starting it with, I hope that everybody has done their work in the textbook which have been shared in the previous week. In today's session, that is, we will be starting with chapter number 2. The name of the chapter is Hardware and Software. Before that, I just draw a diagram. Like we have a computer screen, we have a CPU, we have other two input devices. One is your keyboard, and let's say another is your mouse. And in that computer system, you are doing a work. Let's say you are doing or you are using the program TuxPaint with a penguin-like structure on it. Okay, so this is your computer system on which we are working, which is basically known as desktop. We have also understood the benefits, the advantages and disadvantages of computer along with the IPO cycle of computer. Today our topic is what do we mean by hardware and what we mean by software. So let's discuss about it. We'll start with an example. If we have a computer device, a desktop, on which you are working and you are using right now TuxPaint like you have done in the last year. So if I'm standing here, you will say with me, can I touch the monitor? Can I touch the monitor? Yes, I can touch the monitor. I can touch the CPU. I can touch the keyboard. I can touch the mouse. Yes or no? If we are working on a computer, what are the different devices which we can touch, which we can feel? These are, we can touch the monitor. Yes, computer screen can be touched. We can feel computer screen. We can feel CPU. We can touch CPU. We can feel keyboard. We can touch keyboard. We can feel mouse. We can touch mouse. But one more thing. Can I touch the program which is running inside the computer, the TuxPaint? क्या TuxPaint को मैं touch कर सकता हूँ? क्या TuxPaint को मैं move कर सकता हूँ? No, it is inside the computer. We cannot touch it. We cannot feel it. Like your one more Office Libre text editor. Last year we have done one more program, Office Libre or the text editor. So what is Sir trying to say? Sir is trying to say that the TuxPaint, the Office Libre program, these programs I can't touch. You can't touch also. Nobody can touch these programs which are inside the computer. But we can touch the screen, CPU, mouse, keyboard. These things we can touch. So this comes your chapter, that is hardware and software. Your computing system, your computer system consists of two parts. Basically needs two parts to work. What are those two parts? The first is your hardware and the second is your software. Without hardware or software, the computer will not work. The computer will not do anything. Okay? So computer requires two basic things. One is your hardware and another is your software. So what is hardware? As Sir has written, hardware are those devices which can see, touch or feel. Like Sir had told you that I can see monitor, I can touch monitor, I can see CPU, I can touch CPU, keyboard I can see, mouse I can touch. But the program which is inside the computer, which is a software. And what is software? A software is a set of programs that tells a computer what to do. Okay, like if we go to school, our teacher tells us or make us learn how to come in a room or go out of the room. When we come or class, we say na, ma'am, may I come in, or sir, may I come in. So who made you learn this? Your teacher. Similarly, software makes learn computer what to do and how to do the work. Whereas hardware is the devices which we can touch, which we can feel. Again, hardware are those devices which we can see, which we can touch. Like if I'm using this laptop, I can touch the screen, I can touch the keyboard, I can touch the mouse. But the program, the book of yours, which is open inside your computer, can I touch it? I can't touch it. Can I feel it? No. It is a program inside the computer. Okay. So the devices which we can touch, which we can feel, which we can see are known as your hardware. The programs or the set of programs which tells the computer what to do, which is inside your computer, is known as software. In this chapter, we will be learning about the hardware and the software. Now, as I had mentioned you, hardware is the devices which we can touch. Now, monitor I can touch. On the monitor, I see the output. I had mentioned in the previous class that monitor is an output device on which we can see, we can display the output, we can see what is happening in the computer. CPU, क्या इस पे हम display करते हैं? No. What does CPU do? It do all the calculation work. Keyboard, what does keyboard do? Keyboard gives the input. So the hardware, on the basis of their work, the hardware like your monitor, CPU, mouse, keyboard, they are divided into three parts. The first is input devices hardware. The second is processing devices. And the third is your output devices. Hardware, that is those devices which we can touch, which we can feel, are known as your hardware devices. So hardware devices are divided into three categories, three parts. What are those parts? The first is your input devices, and I think everybody know what is input devices. Those devices which we, the user, use to give input to the computer. हम input किस किस से देते हैं? We had done in the last chapter. Yes or no? We had done in the last chapter. What are the input devices? Input devices are those devices which we use to give input, like your keyboard and your mouse. So your keyboard and mouse is a hardware. You can touch them, you can feel them, and these two hardware, that is your keyboard and mouse, इनका क्या work होता है, क्या function होता है? They are being used to give input to the computer. Hence they are known as input devices. All those hardware which are used to give input, like your scanner, your graphic tablet, touch screen, touchpad, all these input devices are known as input hardware. Okay, then we have processing devices. Who do the processing? Calculation processing कौन करता है in computer? Who is known as the brain of the computer? It is your CPU, Central Processing Unit. So Central Processing Unit, CPU, is known as your processing device hardware. CPU को मैं touch कर सकता हूँ. I can touch the CPU. I can feel the CPU. Even I can lift the CPU. I can place it on somewhere else. So CPU is a hardware. And which kind of hardware? It do the processing work. Hence it is a processing hardware. Any doubts? I think it should not be a doubt. Now we have output devices. those hardware which is being used for showing outputs, जिस पे आप आउटपुट देखते हैं, कैलकुलेशन का डिस्प्ले देखते हैं. What is it? It is the monitor. Yes. So monitor, I can touch the monitor. I can feel the monitor. Monitor को मैं टच कर सकता हूं. डिस्प्ले स्क्रीन को, टीवी को, टेलीविजन को मैं टच कर सकता हूं. So those are your output devices. So what we have learned that computer works on two things. It requires hardware, it requires software. Hardware is the devices which we can touch, see or feel. जिन्हें हम टच कर सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं, फील कर सकते हैं, they are the hardware. The program inside the computer, like we have done in previous class, Office LibreWriter, Tux Paint, yes or no? Nowadays we watch movies, we open up Google Chrome or web browsers. So all these programs which are stored in the computer, which we can't touch, हम touch नहीं कर सकते हैं, they are the software. And software is what? It is a set of programs that tells a computer what to do. It tells the computer how to do the work. So computer works on hardware and software. Now the work done by the hardware, the function performed by the hardware, जो काम हार्डवेयर करता है, on the basis of it, उसके बेसिस पे हमने हार्डवेयर को 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड किया है. And what are those 3 parts? The first is your input device. Those devices which are used for providing input. Those hardwares which are used for providing input. For example, your keyboard or your mouse. For example, we have other input devices also. But just a common system mein, we have keyboard and mouse which works as input device. So they are input device hardware. Then we have processing device. Processing device is the hardware which do the processing, which is also known as the brain of the computer. That is your central processing unit. It do all the calculation work. It performs all the storage work. So it is known as your processing device. And the third is your output device. Those hardware which is used to display the output is your output device. For example, your monitor, your screen, television screen, which I can touch. On it, I can see the display. So that is your output device. We will be having the book reading session after this video, where I'll be reading the complete line by line the chapter and would like to describe or explain further. This is just the initial part of it, initial explanation of it. Now comes your software. Software are the set of programs which tells the computer how to do the work. Now to explain it out, आप टीवी पे, टेलीविजन पे you watch cartoons, yes or no? Ninja Hattori and Dog Patrol and Papa Pig, all these cartoons you watch on your TV screen, on your television screen. So you can touch the television screen. आप टेलीविजन स्क्रीन को टच कर सकते हैं. You can change the channel also from the television screen. But the Peppa Pig and the cartoon which are inside your television, क्या आप उसे टच कर सकते हैं? The cartoon which is playing inside the television, क्या आप उसे टच कर सकते हैं? No, we can't touch them. So the television which you can touch is your hardware, and the program and the show and the cartoon and the movie which you see inside the television is your software which you cannot touch. Now we had just learned about the hardware, different types of hardware. I would again recall different types of hardware: input devices, processing devices, and output devices. Good. So now in this chapter, in this part, we will learn about the different types of software. Now, software is of 2 types. The first is your system software. First is system software, and the second one is your application software. system software and application software. Okay, now what is system software? System software manages the complete computer, complete working of the computer. Computer का on होना, computer will take input, will process, will give you output. All these things is being controlled by system software. System software tells the computer how to do the work, how to store, how to open a program. All these things are explained or controlled by system software. System software in our computer language is also known as operating system. It is also known as operating system. It's also known as operating system. Means it tells the computer how to operate, how to work. Okay, now we have heard about Windows, or we had last time in last class we had heard about Linux or Ubuntu operating system. These are some operating system names, examples of operating system. Most of the computer, most common operating system in our homes also, the operating system which we found is Windows, Microsoft. Okay, so they are the softwares, or they are the programs, set of programs which tells the computer how to work. They are the main softwares. They are the main. Without operating system, your computer will not work. And it is necessary to have operating system. Okay, the second one is your application software. Application software. Application software. These are the programs which are designed, which are made as per the requirement of the user. Okay, to perform special tasks. These are the programs perform special task. Okay, like we have done an application program last class, TuxPaint. TuxPaint क्या काम करता था? For what purpose we use TuxPaint? Did TuxPaint control the computer? No. TuxPaint was a program for drawing and coloring. By using the TuxPaint, हम draw और color करते थे. So TuxPaint is a application software designed for drawing and coloring purpose. Similarly, आप लोग Google पे सर्च करते हैं. Web browser, Google is an application software, helps in searching information on internet. आप लोग मोबाइल्स पे WhatsApp यूज करते हैं. Everybody use WhatsApp. What is a WhatsApp? WhatsApp is again an application software which is used for messaging. हम मैसेज करते हैं ना उसको यूज करके. We have also used Facebook. That is also an application software for communication purpose. We have used different softwares. We had used Office Libre text editor in last class, which was for typing and for text purposes. Text editor था वो. So application softwares are those programs which are developed for doing different special work, like drawing and coloring. It will be an application program. For messaging, application program. You can design program for calculation, application program. You have seen so many programs in your mobile itself. Some are for bank. Papa use करते हैं banking app. Bank की details. Doesn't need to go to bank. All can be controlled by using mobile. That is also an application program. Okay. Nowadays you are using Zomato and Swiggy. We use Zomato and Swiggy to order. We have an application in the mobile. Click it. It will show all the information. That is also an application program. So, in this chapter, we had learned about that hardware and software. These two are required for the working of the computer. Hardware are divided into three. That is input devices, which gives input. processing devices which process the data, and output devices which shows the output. Software are the set of programs which tells the computer what to do and how to do. Softwares are divided into two categories. The first is system software, which complete controls the computer, which tells each and every work of the computer is controlled by system software, also known as operating system. Second, application software, which is being designed for doing special or different tasks. I had discussed some of the examples